PBA Denver Open. What a clash of the Titans it'll be. Brian Voss, Norm Duke, 43 combined titles between them. They're coming up in semi number 2. Well, if you were with us last week, you saw Chris Barnes defeat Lonnie Wallachek in the Miller High Life Skills Challenge. The round of 16 ends today as the hardest thrower on the PBA Tour, Robert Smith, takes on his roommate on the road, Tony Reyes. Now remember, the first bowler to outskill his opponent 3 times gets 3 strikes on the scoreboard and advances to the round of 8. Randy takes us through this battle of buddies.
Come on, man. Stare down here. Full good.
Get about I don't know about what the second set of sensors are. Just kind of stand, I don't know, probably about 20 or so, maybe a little right at 20. Just put your left foot right about there.
All right, so
I need to get another ball here. See, I've always wanted to do this to Chief when he's won. Just kind of scare him a little bit. I hope you can jump.
Robert Smith trying to throw a strike without ending Brian Himmler's career. Looks good. Oh, ring at 10. Pretty good shot.
That was close.
Burn.
Brian Himmler relieved that he's still walking upright. Now Tony Reyes will attempt the 157.
And you gotta have the messenger come back and hit the 5 pin.
Get out of here. That was wrong. Oh.
Tony Reyes making that look easy. Robert Smith with the big high power rev rate should have no problem converting this.
Tony Reyes gets the first strike.
Hard to believe with all that power, Robert Smith would leave a 5-pin. Tony Reyes now the one-step delivery strike ball.
God, Tony. Oh! Tony. That's a 1, no.
Just 1 set, not 8.
Yeah, finally.
Tony Reyes all over Robert Smith, but Robert Smith has some game. Oh, nicely done. Tony Reyes, 9-pound ball, 2 fingers, has to throw a strike.
Oh, that's got a chance.
Oh! You know how my strikes are, man. I don't make them explode. Mine just barely go down. Gotta remember that.
No thumb there.
No thumb.
Robert Smith needs to convert, otherwise Tony Reyes takes a 2-strike to nothing lead.
Oh, I got pins. Oh.
Pretty good set, but not enough.
Oh, buddy.
Tony Reyes.
Tony Reyes will now throw a strike with a backup ball. He'll reverse the rotation at release.
Yeah.
Nice. Gets it done. It was an ugly strike, but it's still a strike.
Oh, it's flop. Strike and pull.
Tony, I still can't believe you got that.
You can never tell my read.
Man.
I mean,
I'm just dragging it out, right?
go Giants.
Go Giants. That's right, Dodgers made it.
Last gasp for Robert Smith. If he doesn't convert, he's done.
That's it.
Oh, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, 3 strikes are out, and Tony Reyes is in. Congratulations, Tony.
Dude, this is so funny, dude. I can't believe that.
Tony Reyes, the winner.
Hey, man, look out.
Join us next week as 2 bitter rivals get it on. PDW Pete Weber taking on Michael Haugen Jr.
And here are the updated brackets. Now the round of 8. Couch Kretzer and advancing Tony Reyes against Barnes in the round of 8. Miller High Life PBA Skills Challenge. When we return, the showdown between these best friends on tour who are among the best of all time. Norm Duke and Brian Voss are holding nothing back. Something's gotta give, and we'll give it to you in just a few moments. PBA Denver Open. Yeah, the Broncos fans taking a little bowling in today. I'm Joe Tessitore. And here is a look at the updated brackets. You saw Tommy Jones crush Paul Fleming. As for whose name is next to move onward, Randy Peterson is standing by with the semifinal number 2 contestants. Randy.
Thanks, Joe. And a highly anticipated matchup between two of our sports Goliaths, Norm Duke and Brian Voss. Norm, I'm going to propose this question to you first. How did you sleep last night knowing that you have to take out your best friend in order to win this championship?
I slept great. I'm a Goliath. Look at me. No, you know, this is really a no-lose situation for me, because if I do go down, then I'm happy for Brian. But I'll be even more happier if I can take him down.
Thanks, Norm. Good luck. Brian, I'm going to ask you the same question. Norm Duke's been a dear friend of yours, your best friend for over 20 years. What's it going to be like for you to take him down today?
Well, first of all, he lied. He didn't sleep good last night. He told me that. But I tell you what, when you bowl a match, you want a worthy opponent. I expect this to be a real tough match, and I hope the fans really enjoy it.
Thanks, Brian. Good luck. And remember, no matter who wins or loses, Joe, there'll always be friends. But all is fair in love and war.
I think they're having some fun with it, but it's about to get real serious. You know, it's a shame, these two, with all they've accomplished, kind of curious number here, but through all the years, only 2 times they faced each other on TV, and that series split 1 apiece. So Norm Duke, 40-year-old, his 80th TV appearance. Pure solid.
Norm Duke, when I bowled next to him in the practice session on Wednesday night, didn't look like he was going to be able to finish this event. It didn't look like he was going to be able to bowl his first match. He went and saw a chiropractor that night who worked on him for a solid hour, fixed his hip, and came in and beat Hugh Miller the next day. And now he's on television.
Randy, time for the Baby Ruth real deal matchup between Brian Voss and Norm Duke.
Well, we talked about how these guys are best friends. Well, their stats are pretty close as well. Norm just a couple pins a game higher average. But look at everything else, how tight it is. These guys are like clones.
See the TV win percentage between these two, but I mean, just look at those numbers, how many times they have been on TV. Two-bagger for Voss. It's exactly what we expected early on.
Both players playing pretty much the same line. Perfection early on. You could see Brian Voss. You see the passion. It's made him great for so long. Hall of Famer.
Norm Duke. Matches looking for his title win for the first time in the last 15 events. You see how he got to this Final Four semifinal. Now, what's interesting here in the match play, he started off with 3 losses, 2 losses, 1 loss, and then swept through Richard Wolff. So momentum as the week moves onward for Norm Duke.
Just kept getting better and better as the week went on.
Speaking of momentum, hello, 3-bagger.
Norm Duke and Brian Voss both pride themselves on making shots. Let me show you how you'd go about doing that. Watch Norm Duke at the finish. He doesn't move. Look at that. Fire in the eyes of Norm Duke, and he knows there's no holding back when you're bowling against a guy like this.
The 46-year-old Hall of Famer in a match. Oh, boy! And did he leave it out there on that one board, and it came back, and he shredded.
Well, he got really lucky there, chipping the 2-pin out, because this, all week long, was a 2-8-10 or a 2-10. That ball gets all the way back, and then again, the pin carry here pins fell like balsa wood.
This is good stuff between Voss and Duke. Voss for a 4-bagger. Are they hot? Brian Voss, tough week throughout. He said, I bowled Mike Edwards 3 out of the last 4 weeks. He was my gnat. I finally got rid of him.
He said the reason why he made it here was because his entire family is here. His mother, Shay, his brothers, Mark and Mike, his sister, Dina. Look out. He said they were their inspiration. And a great story. We talk about the friendship between Norm and Brian. Norm Duke, as you see him, this is left of target. He's going high, trying to wave it off. Norm Duke actually knew that Brian Voss's mother was coming in last night before Brian knew it.
So now the 6-10 for Norm Duke. First spare between these two.
Joe, real quick, interesting note. Brian Voss, in his interview with us last night, told us that the winner of this tournament will come out of this match.
Oh, and he was very confident in saying that. And you can see between these two the difference of the atmosphere between semifinal number 1 and this semifinal number 2.
Look out.
So after starting with a 3-bagger, now Duke settling in and dealing with some issues.
This was just a little mishit at the bottom of the swing. Ball never grabbed the lane to get back to the 1-3. Norm leaving himself with a tough spare.
Looking to make his mark here, currently trailing by 15 pins. Made the spare. He said being pain-free is really the big thing for me this week, Randy. We talked about that early on. But you can see some pain now in his face, not the physical kind in his hip.
I actually practiced with Norm Duke at home last Monday. Norm had a little bit of a swing issue, worked on his timing a little bit, and then I watched him bowl for the next hour. He never missed the pocket.
Brian Voss is on fire. You know, an NFL team that's on fire has been the Pittsburgh Steelers all season long, with Ben Roethlisberger behind center. They take on Jacksonville tonight, a team making a push towards the postseason. Steelers, Jags, also available on high def. Coverage begins with NFL Prime Time, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30 Eastern. It'll be interesting to see how Roethlisberger holds up against that Jacksonville defense. You can see no defense to stop Brian Voss here in semifinal number 2.
No defense in our sport, all offense.
Do we have something special brewing here with Brian Voss? Perfect through 6. Every week, hundreds of bowling fans get the opportunity to bowl with their favorite PBA pros in the PBA's Pro-Ams. Pros dispense advice, sign autographs, and mingle with the fans, who seem to take the tips to heart and enjoy the thrill of bowling with the world's best.
I think it's a great opportunity for the people that follow the tour to come out and have a chance to actually bowl with us. As long as the people have fun, we all have fun. That's all that counts.
The PBA on ESPN, brought to you by Geico. You too could save 15% or more on car insurance. Call Geico at 1-800-947-AUTO. By Baby Ruth, the official candy bar of the PBA. Baby Ruth from Nestle, the real deal. Log on to bowlersparadise.com today and enter to win a free bowling ball. What a great scene that is outside here in suburban Denver, and what a wonderful atmosphere inside with Brian Voss perfect through 6 against Norm Duke. Joe Tessitore filling in for Dave Ryan alongside Randy Peterson with you in Lakewood, Colorado. Norm Duke is in his 23rd season on tour, while Tommy Jones is in his 5th. Randy breaks down the difference between the old school and young gun in this week's Dexter Approach.
Old school versus new school. Similarities end right here with a push away. Now watch this at the top of the swing. Here's old school. Shoulder high backswing. Check this out. The vertical swing, that equals power. This also equals power. When you have power, you got to feed it right. That's why Tommy Jones has that kind of upper body lean. You can see Norm Duke much more direct and much straighter. But something that Tommy Jones has been trying to acquire since he joined the PBA Tour.
Norm Duke. Oh, you know, he needed to get it back. Left that solid 10.
Needed to get something going there because Brian Voss is perfect through 6 frames. When you make a good shot like that, you don't want to see a ring in 10.
Talked to us yesterday about knowing how everything's right for him. It was right that time. He said, if you see that I'm fidgety, a little worried, I'm not clicking on all gears, but if I'm in control, I know I'm going to win. You know, he may even be in control, but with Brian Voss doing what he's doing, you can be in control all you want.
Exactly. And again, we talked about the chameleon pattern being a pretty tough pattern. Our toughest pattern on the PBA Tour this year, out of our 5 patterns, not counting majors. Look at him waving that one up again. And quite honestly, the difference in this match thus far is the fact that Brian Voss basically tripped the 4-7-10 out twice and tripped the 2 forward. Norm Duke, the only time he struck is when his ball was dead flush.
Struck 3 times to open things up. Since then, 4 straight frames where he's been trying to convert the spare. See the other finishers at the bottom of the screen. Oh, and he leaves an open frame, and that could be deadly in this clash of the Titans.
Yeah, and that almost spells the end for Norm Duke, and something that you would never, ever, ever expect from him. Pressure does funny things to people.
See Walter Ray Williams finish 32nd this week. Seven heaven. Perfect through 7, Brian Voss.
About the only thing Brian Voss hasn't done out here that his best friend Norm Duke has is bowl a perfect game on television.
Diane Shea, Brian Voss's mom. He's so happy to have his family here. He says that is the true inspiration. Wow. Do we have history in the making? In the history of the PBA on television, there have only been 16 televised 300 games. Brian Voss through 8.
January, Seattle, 2003. Norm Duke against Walter Ray Williams Jr. Perfection. Right now, Norm is hoping for the same for his buddy Brian Voss, who was perfect through 8 frames.
Finally, after the struggles, Norm Duke gets something going, but the story, Brian Voss, 4 away from a 300 game. He said when you're a competitor, you want to be a part of something exciting. Boy, is he in the midst of being a part of something exciting. 16 perfect games in the history of the PBA on television. It was great while it lasted, though, wasn't it?
Norm Duke congratulating his partner. This shot's too fast and too wide. Never makes it back up to the pocket solidly.
Wait a minute.
What's going on?
I guess that's like when the pitcher gives up the little bloop single for the no-hitter, and next thing you know, he gives up a homer.
Yeah.
Oh, but he can laugh it off now. The 46-year-old Hall of Famer. You see his best friend there, Norm Duke. There was so much buildup after Friday night's round of 8 when they knew they would be facing off against each other. And you know that right now Norm Duke has only one thought, and that's watching Brian Voss secure himself another PBA title.
You know, the other interesting note when you talk about Brian Voss and him being 46 years of age, when 80% of the players are using 15-pound equipment, Brian Voss is still using 16 pounds. It just tells you the kind of shape that this 46-year-old is in and why he's able to compete week in and week out here.
Brian Voss, the fans very appreciative. 265, he was perfect through 8. The Hall of Famer in Denver. Norm Duke. He was at one time the youngest player to ever win on tour at age 18. Now some 22 years later.
And
non-exempt qualifiers, Randy?
Jeff,
familiar name on there?
Well, yeah, I got a commissioner's exemption and scared Pete Weber when I won the first 2 games of our match. But check out Timmy Mack and Jeff Carter. They both won multiple matches this week. Jeff Carter's been making it out of the qualifiers each of the last 3 weeks.
Strike out of your towel.
Now a little fun. Best friends, maybe practicing for the skills challenge here.
This is a $10 strike.
This will count as
Fun
0
for the crowd, but it counts for a 0 formally. Let's see if he can pull it off. Something. What a treat for the fans, and what a salute to the passion for the game he has and the respect he has for his best friend.
Check this out, man. This is cool. Out of a towel. Come on, ball. 5, get the 7 out of there.
What a classic. An emotional Brian Voss is headed to the finals against Tommy Jones. Denver's long been a hotspot for future PBA Hall of Famers. In 1970, Bo Burton won 3 matches, outlasting Jim Stefanich for his first win of the season. He would have 3 titles and be named Player of the Year. In 1971, Dick Weber needed a roll-off to advance before squeaking by Tim Harahan by 10 pins for his 21st career title and second in the Mile High City. A year later in 1972, we saw Don Johnson plow through the field from the 5th spot, winning 4 matches and taking his second title in 2 weeks. It capped an incredible 10-year streak in which every Denver winner went on to the PBA Hall of Fame. Here's a look at some of the Hall of Famers who have claimed titles in Denver. Perhaps today's winner has great things in his future.